So what I need from you is to think about, when we go to Anderson, you are asking them for that ticket out the door. And we've had this conversation before about what are some things that you've had to do for teachers in the past that demonstrate that you understand what you've read. So you're putting your phone away, right? Okay. What are some things that you've had to do to demonstrate that you understand what you've read? Summary. What else? All right, so you've had to do a summary in the past. What else? You've had to highlight the text, all right? After you've read something, how do you show your teachers that you've read? What's something that you've done that's been fun?
A quiz.
A quiz. That's been fun?
It's not fun, but...
No,
a project.
We didn't do a quiz. Game.
No.
Okay. Do you remember the name of the game?
Next time.
Kahoot. Take it down, please.
Come on.
A project?
What kind of a project, Cameron?
Like a poster project to describe the characters.
Okay, so making a poster. What else? We came up with a list like this maybe a month ago.
Was it like a flow chart?
A flow chart, okay. What else? Timeline. What else?
Talk to the text.
Okay, a T4, talk to the text. What else?
Describe the character.
Describe the character. What did you do with your group? Early on, one of the first things that you did over at Anderson, what did you have them do?
What's T4?
Awesome. So what did you have your students do the first time that you were at Anderson?
Draw the character.
You had them draw the character. And you could draw the character, you could draw the setting, you could do a cartoon strip of the action that happened in there, right? So you could do a lot of things with drawing. Are there any other kind of outside of the box things? So what are some outside of the box things? Drawing is outside of the box. Have you done anything musical?
No.
Never?
No.
Is there anything that you could do with music that would show? You're giving me a look there.
Well, I think in like the other English class they do like they have to like pick a song and how it relates to like the book.
Okay, pick a song and how it relates to the book. Anything active to demonstrate that you know what you've learned.
A little game.
You've
like,
never done anything active.
Talking about the game like when we first got there.
Was that demonstrating what we knew about what we had read? No, it was just a fun get to know you game, an icebreaker, right? But okay, how would you do that? I like it, but how would you do it? Give me a little bit more information.
I play like a role like, I read the book The Monster. You can play him being in jail.
Okay, so in your book, some of it's actually written like a play.
Right. Yeah.
So
you can say that's perfect. Yeah, you can say like each character, and then you maybe can like put somebody in a small spot and then like relate to it being in jail itself.
Okay, so like making a physical space that's just like being in jail.
Right.
So doing like a stage setting.
Yeah, there you go.
So we have this list of things, and you have some planning that needs to happen. So I changed the way these lesson plans looked a little bit so that you can put in a little bit more information. Before I get these out, let me back up just a minute. Will you move so that you are sitting with your partners for your books? So move so you're sitting with your partner.
Just jump over the table. You can do it with noodle. Right, you can do it all the time.
Or you could just crawl under the table like you normally would. You could squirm like a worm.
Look,
Can you use a pen?
I'm very
Yes, you can use a pen.
This is the views on camera.
Before you okay, so if you're working with Ira, find you and Ira can sit together. Yes, the three of you. The two of you are Monster. The two of you will be Martin Pig. And the two of you are Watch Out. Yes? Watch Out. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do today is fill this out, but I want you to be really strategic. I want you to pick 1 or 2 passages. 2 would really be ideal because of the time that we'll have over at Anderson. 1 or 2 passages that you think are critically important to understanding what they should be reading this week. So you'll probably want your folders, you'll probably want your books, and figure 2 passages that you think are really important. You're going to either ask the students to reread them, you might read them to the students, but I'd like you to write out the passage. So if you look at your handout, it says the reading passage number 1, you're actually going to write it out. You're going to include the page number where it's at. And then in the right-hand column, or actually I guess it's the middle column, what is important about that? Why is that something that we did this when we were working with the Martin Pig group last week, right? I picked the passages and I said, oh my gosh, you don't know that? We need to go back and read this section again so that we understood what was going on. So you have an understanding of what we're doing. We've all done this in class with me. Remember when I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to read this section, that's really great. And we'll reread through that section. That's your job. Once you've picked those 2 passages and have decided these are the 2 important passages that we need to read, if you're picking more, go ahead and write them on the back. On the second page, if you'll flip to the second page with me, this is for your ticket out the door. What is the activity? So you're going to actually describe it. What do you want them to do? Write out the directions. Several of you have said when we've come back that you needed to be more clear with your directions, that you weren't quite clear enough. So you're going to write out those directions. And then on the middle column, or the side over here, it says, well, how are you going to grade them? What is a good activity like? What does it look like? How is that? So make sure that that's clear. So if you decide, because picking a song and relating to it is a more fun activity to do, that's your activity. But you need to describe to them exactly what you want. Be super clear with them. And then I'd like you to pick out a song that you think makes sense and describe what that looks like, or whatever your directions are going to be. If you think that creating a play to describe what's going on is important, then you're going to write out the directions. Are you going to select the section of the book? Are they going to select the section of the book? Hopefully the passages that you have them read is going to guide that a little bit. But be creative in however it is that you select that. All right? So by the end of class, the goal is to have this completed. Your mini lesson is completed. You'll have 2 passages, because this will be filled in. You'll have your explanation written about why those passages are important. You'll have an activity for your Anderson partners. And then everything that you need for that is either going to go in your folder or in the backpack that you've been using to bring things back and forth to Anderson. And you will turn in 1 copy of this lesson plan to me to look at, and I'll hand that back to you before we go to Anderson on Tuesday.
What's the date?
So you'll need your books. You'll need your folders. If you need a computer, you can use the netbooks. If you need markers, paper, pencil, crayons, whatever you need back there. You'll need to move back there and work with Brianna. You'll need your book. You'll need all of those supplies. You've got time to work. Okay?
Since I'm not that good at it, I'm going to want your help to make some questions with me for the quiz.
Okay. Is that what you're doing? You're going to make a quiz?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like being on camera like that.
All right, so to start with, though, you and Cameron are going to come up with the important passages.
Yeah,
we are.
Okay. And then we can look at that and talk that through.
How many questions you want?
5.
I want
What was that?
Then I count through this.
Yes, you did.
The
go on
first
Tuesday.
out of how long?
No, every time.
It's been a minute since you've seen
Okay,
those
but he's here now. So, what section should they have read for next week?
for next week.
You want it to get easier to heart?
Yeah.
Huh?
For
You want it
next
to
It
get
should
easy
be
to
up
heart?
to page 28.
Was it 17?
Like
Yeah,
the last week's gonna be like
So based on what
was
you
this-
told
what
me
was the
yesterday
test?
about
Like
what
New York
your
was New York.
students need, so Jasmine, you weren't here yesterday, but we talked about what our students did and didn't need as far as help with reading and what we could do to help them. So think about that. What was it that you thought your student needed help with doing?
sounding out the words instead of me telling her.
Okay. So if that's the case, do you want to read to her or do you want her to read to you the passage that you select?
I might read it. I don't know yet.
Okay,
I'll
so
have
think
to
that through.
about it.
As far as understanding what they're reading, are they doing a good job
Yeah, like
understanding
they
it?
understand it.
Okay,
Can a quiz?
go ahead.
Can a quiz be a ticket out the door too?
That will be your ticket out the door.
Oh, okay. Well, I basically wrote it up here actually.
That's fine.
Okay, all
That's
right.
okay. I'm not as worried about that as I am about making sure that you've got it taken care of. Why don't you type the quiz on the netbook,
Okay.
and then you've got, you said that you wanted some help with questions for the quiz, but you've got a resource that you might want to share with him to help with that. Do you
Okay.
remember what that is?
Oh, with Christian?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, with him being kind of quiet.
Mm-mm.
No.
I gave you something when you started reading the book that you said
Oh yeah,
would help
the
you.
little thing. The little. What is it?
The little what thing?
It's got the little.
It's probably in your backpack.
No. You put it on the desk. I never grabbed it. I forgot to.
That's a hot lie. Look through your backpack.
Is it a purple thing?
It's not purple. It's a packet of
Oh
information.
yeah.
So you might use that.
Been holding on.
So the first thing is to look over the section that you should have read. So Larry, figure out where you're supposed to be, and then find in that book where you're supposed to be, and then find what the important part is. So has Hollis started to change the way that she acts towards the Reagans yet? Has she run away from Izzy?
Yeah, hold it right.
See, look what you did.
I didn't do that.
I had it, and you soiled it. You soiled it. Soiled it.
Mary, talk to me about some of the things that you have highlighted in your book. How come you chose to highlight them?
Because I thought they were like
I got this. I got this.
I can't talk.
Significant.
Thank you.
Bruh.
Okay, are those some of the things that you're using for the passages to share at Anderson?
Yeah. We're doing the one about where like she could never get Steven right, like in her drawings and stuff.
Okay, and what is that telling you about Stephen, or how she feels about Stephen?
What question number 4? So far I got, where does this book take place at? What is Stephen in jail for?
Okay.
What
So
is the name of Stephen's lawyer?
I don't know. She never like could know what Steven was gonna do, but they were like really close.
Okay. And what are the two of you think about that?
I don't know, 'cause
I don't know how to, like,
I always
describe-
highlight something different from everybody
I have to like think
Okay.
about it more. But,
Okay,
I got Troy.
so what are some
Don't
what are
look at
some
the camera. The camera don't like you.
what are some things that you've highlighted that show things differently?
Show things different.
And like I know when she's like regular in the chapters too, she like talks about Steven only. Like when it's in the present, she, and then kind of when she goes to the past, she always
I didn't
knows
highlight
Steven in her
it.
head.
No, I didn't
Okay,
even
so having
highlight.
Stephen in her head demonstrates how much she cares about him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too much, bro. I ain't doing all that.
Boy.
132 and 133 is a cool.
Okay, what do you like about 132 and 133?
Well, it starts to talk about them getting his dad out of the car.
Okay, and why is that going to be significant for your readers? The kids in your group. Why are Selena and Aaron going to connect to that? Or why do they need to know that part?
Because it's fun and that's what they've been waiting for.
Because it's funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of funny because they're struggling and stuff and trying to find ideas to break the ice
Okay,
in the bottom of the hole.
okay,
It's just kind of weird and stupid.
okay. That's fair.